And welcome to a very special edition of the Spiel. I am your host today, Angie Wyatt. My co-host, she's somewhere else doing something far more important, I'm sure. But no, we're always picking on Julie and always teasing Julie, and we decided to dedicate this show to recapping that fun we've had with Julie in the past, but also introducing you to a couple of our team members. Some of those you haven't really gotten to know yet, or you want to learn a little bit more about. So that will be coming up later in the show. Also, we've shared with you many times that the Spiel is produced by Growing Media Marketing. It's a marketing ad agency. It's in the same space as the Spiel. If you've been a guest on our show, you know that we have the studio side of the building, and then we of course have our marketing, advertising offices on the other side of the building. So it's a fun time. You know, I encourage you to get to know both sides of the house, get to know the entire team, because it's a lot of fun. Business doesn't have to be boring. Business doesn't have to be mundane. We really like to shake it up and do some fun, creative things. And we'll share some of that with you a little bit later. Now, part of the reason that we decided to do this show this way is we were on a shoot recently for the Veterans Association, and we have learned of a program called the Whole Health Program. And what it is designed to do is to take care of those who have obviously sacrificed so much for this country. We cannot say enough about our veterans, the appreciation that we have, but because all of us, we all know someone who has served. We all know someone who is struggling after either coming back from theater or war or serving and being with their comrades and in training. And then they get back stateside and they're told, okay, go live your life. They look to the right and the left and they're all alone and they have issues to contend with. And so this program has been phenomenal in helping vets, and we were able to meet some incredible people. And with a commercial, as you all know, you've got 30 seconds to a minute, Rob, to maybe 2 minutes, is that right? Definitely not time to tell the whole story. And so we've decided in our hour-long broadcast, we're going to dedicate that second half of the broadcast to those interviews in their entirety, and I cannot wait for you to see them, because it was enlightening for me. And the idea is that we hope that if you know someone who is struggling and they need help, and perhaps they're homeless, perhaps they've just decided to unplug from everything, they don't have a phone, they don't have television, they have no way of seeing this message, we encourage you to go to them. Let them know that there's help available. Give them a hug while you're there, and let them know you love them and that you will help them, because you know, whether the numbers are correct or not, we've heard 22, right? 22 a day, 22 veterans a day taking their lives. Now, we understand that that number is decreasing a little bit. The civilian population is increasing, so this is a message that everybody needs, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. Also, we travel on occasion to you know, different parts of the country. We've taken you to where? Alaska? Where have we taken them, Rob?
San Francisco.
We've taken them to San Francisco, down to Florida, all over the place. That's what we like to do through this medium that we have and these cameras. We like to take you to new places and allow you to experience different things. So we are going to take you to Nashville and the Fairlane Hotel. Very nostalgic, very quaint, definitely something to see. We want to share that with you. And we're going to take you inside Ellington's, because we love to go in search of the best chefs in America. Do you know the chef from Fairlane Hotel?
I saw her on the Food Network.
Yeah, she's really, really good, and she's going to cook for us, so I am really, really excited. But I'm also excited because Daniel, who you'll meet a little bit later, and you'll learn a lot about him. Listen to me. We are in an office building, right? And typically it's quiet time. We might be working. We might be on an important phone call. You never really anticipate that this will shatter the silence. Listen to this. Okay, yep, that was a typical day at the office. Daniel starts drumming away, and actually I think Daniel started after Rob started. So yeah, it was a group effort that day, but it was a lot of fun, and Daniel's somebody that you want to follow, because when you got that amount of rhythm, let me tell you, There's a lot that can be shared and learned there. So we're going to get to know him. We're going to get to know a little bit more about Rob, who is responsible for putting this show on. And you all, you say you like it. It's been on the air now more than a decade, and we're going to keep giving you some good stuff. You're going to meet Marcus. You know, he's that dreamy guy that goes out and all the girls are, you know, swooning and like, oh, you know, and you've met his girlfriend, which she'll be recurring on the show. Fiancé, right? Fiancé, okay. So he did put a ring on it. So she'll be offering some tips to keep us healthy. And I cannot believe I'm going to subject myself to this, but I did it to Julie. We have gotten some questions. We're going to do a rapid fire. And I'm yours. I'm going to answer today. Okay. Am I ready? Do I need to drink some water, warm up, stretch? What's required of the rapid fire?
You should probably do 2 laps around the studio.
2 laps around the studio. Hey, that's the other thing. Let's break and show people that, Rob. I mean, this is something Rob's been doing. When he says 2 laps around the studio, he can attest to how far that is and what you will get accomplished. Take a look at what he's been doing. That's encouraging, Rob. That is encouragement.
Thank you so much.
You're down like 100 pounds now.
Not quite.
By this show.
By the time the show airs, I'll probably be down about 60 pounds.
We'll take it. We'll take it. How much we got to do? Where we got to go?
A total?
Yeah.
250 pounds.
We're going to do 250 pounds. And then 250 pounds, and then we're going to do what?
And then we're gonna tone up, and we're gonna stick with that lifestyle change.
Stick with the lifestyle change, because I think we're going in search of a woman.
That's right.
A wife. Is it time?
It is.
You're ready to say I do?
Yes.
Okay. And who knows? We'll take that walk down the aisle. Will we be invited? Our cameras?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. I was just wondering. I didn't know if we would be invited.
We're gonna make a whole show out of it.
Okay. Yeah. Imagine that. Like we do everything else. We make a show out of everything that we do. We're an open book, and we're here for you. So tune in, and we want you to what, Rob? Subscribe, like, follow, share, tweet, comment, tell your friends.
Tell your dog.
Buy us a billboard. Tell your dog. Plane. Fly over, whatever, you know. Okay, can you tell I've been stalling?
Yes.
Okay, it's that evident, so. What's up?
All right, are we gonna go to break, or are we just gonna do it?
Oh, should we go to break?
Yeah.
We probably should. Okay, we're gonna go to break, which will give me time to get some water, 2 laps around the building, and then I'll be ready to go, all right? I'll see you right back here. Coming up on the Spiel.
Spicy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Where is one place you want to visit?
Dubai. Japan. Tokyo.
Coming up later.
It's a coping mechanism. And when we're so used to that and then we get out and we don't have that, it's like, how do I cope now?
I love doing this every day. Working here really gives me a sense of purpose.
You know that you're going to be able to go to Ray Clinic and be able to be seen, not worry about it being shut down or anything like that.
No one is turned away.
Because the whole purpose isn't about, money and the bottom line. The whole purpose is being here so that we can help people. Everyone deserves care. Everyone deserves access to it there. And I don't care, who you are, where you're coming from there. You're going to get the best care that I can give every time.
Be safe.
Stay strong.
CRHPC.
Isn't it funny when you start these that your mind is completely blank?
And it's just go, go, go. Yep. All right.
As fast as you can.
Gotcha.
All right, you ready?
I feel pretty confident. Yeah.
All right, start off by telling me who you are.
I'm Marcus Taylor.
Daniel Lopez.
Rob Reinfuss.
Angie. Wyatt.
Full name.
I am one of the cinematographers, editors, and I don't know. What else would I be, Rob?
The director of photography.
Yeah. For the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I currently work on editing videos, a lot of the BTS, and just honestly, anything that's available for me to help on, I love to help.
You also do social media.
Oh yeah, I do social media too.
I am the director and editor for the Spiel, and I am a multimedia producer working with Growing Media to design logos, animation, graphics, 3D, whatever you need. All right, what is one word to describe you? Quickly.
Clumsy.
Come on, these are rapid fire. Let's go.
Yeah. Shoot, man. Ambitious.
Okay, look at me, not the camera.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
That people like to open up to me and share their stories.
If you could buy any type of food right now, what would it be?
Ooh, Chinese.
What kind of Chinese? Like specifically just one thing.
Literally down the street, Nuka-Hala.
If you could buy any type of food right now, what would it be?
Sushi.
Sushi straight up?
Yeah.
You gonna go get the Kroger sushi?
Yep.
Your eye color.
Blue.
Why did God give you blue eyes?
Because I am amazing.
What is something you can't do?
You don't like that question, do you?
Because you can do everything.
I like to try. I like to try everything. Something that I cannot do. I cannot be a father. Favorite cartoon?
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
What is it?
That was the first one I thought of. That's not my favorite though.
Okay.
If you could be any sports car, what would it be and why?
It would be a Audi RS7.
Nissan Skyline, the one from Fast and Furious.
Okay, why?
I grew up on the movie. It was like the dream Japanese car that, I think it's a Japanese car. I don't know where Nissan's from.
Are you ticklish?
Yes. Only in like 1 or 2 spots.
Where?
What's your favorite beverage?
What time of the day?
Any time of the day.
You know, I'm from the South, love sweet tea and mama. I enjoy wine paired with food. So yeah, it depends on the time of the day.
What color are your shoes?
Red and white.
Red. Oh, you're not wearing the white ones today.
Red and
Hold on,
white.
keep them up. Keep them up.
Ooh, spicy.
There we go.
Yeah. These are my drum shoes, by the way.
Where is one place you want to visit?
Dubai.
Japan, Tokyo.
Why? Because of Fast and Furious? You want to drift? Ooh, I'm going to steal Marcus's answer and I'm going to say Dubai. That place is beautiful. And I don't know if it's real, but they have these apartments where the whole entire floor rotates. And I don't know if that's real or not. So I want to go find out for myself.
I don't know, there's so many. I don't want to list them. I'll give Rob the list and then he can just lay them down the screen there. It's like a bunch for equal reasons.
Where are you sitting right now?
Oh, I'm sitting at a drum set, and I got into drumming because my father forced me to play drums at the age of like 10.
Tell me why.
He needed a drummer for the worship team, and I hated it. I didn't want to play drums.
Who was your favorite influencer online and why?
Ooh, favorite influencer? This is an unpopular kind of opinion, but probably right now, Logan Paul.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
He has a great podcast, and he's doing things that people aren't doing, like fighting Floyd Mayweather. February 20th, don't miss it.
Biggest pet peeve?
Interrupting me while I'm having a conversation with someone.
Ooh.
That is my biggest pet peeve.
Even at work?
Anytime. It's especially, well, it depends on the context, because if I'm having a one-on-one conversation with someone and you come in and start talking over me, or if I'm talking to you and you go and do something else, that's very, very disrespectful and I don't appreciate it. Daniel,
Wow.
Look at Daniel's face.
And I don't appreciate it. Hey, duly noted, Rob.
Heels or flats?
I like heels because they make your legs look longer, thinner, lifts your butt. My chiropractor, I went to one time, I don't make a habit of that, but said I needed to wear flats because obviously you're not aligning your body when you wear heels, so.
I've known you for a while.
Yes.
And you seem to have one of the biggest hearts that I know.
I hope not.
What It's a giraffe heart.
It's a giraffe heart. It's huge.
So what led to that? Do you know why you care so much about people? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with my faith, and a lot of it has to do with just past relationships where I learned that hurting people is not fun, but when you help people and serve people, that's actually way more rewarding than actually trying to gain something for yourself.
Why do you follow financial gurus?
Oh, how'd you know that? Oh, shoot, okay. I follow them because a lot of what they're doing, they're winning in life, so they're obviously doing something right. That's why I follow them.
You can't live without blank.
Oxygen. Oh, that's not the question. Oh man, the rapid fire stuff, I don't know, it's something I never thought about. I've never thought about what I couldn't live without.
See?
I know, it's hard. It's hard. Can't live without the love of a woman. I don't know, I've never had it, so I don't know.
What are you doing to achieve that?
I am working out super hard, and I'm getting my S word together to get my life organized so that I am even more desirable than I already am.
Name one thing you've learned the hard way.
One thing you've learned the hard way. Be careful who you trust. In particular, trust with your heart.
What are your financial goals? What do you aspire to do?
I want to own a jet one day, so I want to get a lot of real estate and kind of just build a few different companies, and then, yeah. But yeah, the ultimate goal is to own a jet.
What's your ideal woman?
She is honest, very loyal and driven, a little bit shy, and loves God.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Dark chocolate.
that was fast. I like that.
Who do you admire the most besides me?
Besides you? Gosh, probably my dad.
Your dad, why?
He's really hardworking and supports a big family all the time. So yeah, that's probably the number one.
Most random thing a person has said to you?
Ooh, I can tell you one that happened to a friend of mine.
What's that?
Some dude walked up to her in the grocery store and was like, "I like your canines," talking about her teeth. She didn't have any pet dogs with her. They were talking about her teeth.
Your teeth.
Yeah.
That is random.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can't think of anything random somebody said to me. Now, tell me one thing that nobody knows about you. Quick like a bunny.
Whew. That's not quick like a bunny. I worked at a sawmill, and I only got a 15-minute break, and it was the best time of my life. And here's the kicker, I got paid under the table. No one knew that. But I was making bank.
The IRS is coming for you. How old were you?
I was right out of high school, so I was 18 years old.
Okay, yeah, the IRS is coming for you. Tell me one thing that nobody knows about you.
Ooh, one thing that nobody knows about me.
Rapid fire, let's go.
Oh man, I don't know. Hold on, let me think. One thing that nobody knows about me. I do sing in the car.
You sing in the car?
Yeah, most of the time.
Are you any good?
No.
What's your favorite thing to sing?
Oh man, I don't know. Favorite thing to sing, just whatever songs I like to listen to. I like Drake. Drake's cool.
Drake?
So maybe
Okay.
rap? I don't know.
So give me some Drake real quick.
Oh, actually rap?
Yeah, do it.
Oh,
Real quick.
I don't know.
Just do it.
I'm not good at
Do
rapping.
it. It doesn't matter. Just do it.
I'll give you like my favorite
Trust me.
songs.
No, you gotta do it. Trust me. Do it.
Why did I do this to myself?
What's the best joke you've ever heard?
The best joke I have ever heard. It's the corniest joke I've ever heard, and it's the one that always comes to mind because my mother tells it and she laughs hysterically every time. What does my hand and a lemon or coconut pie have in common, or a pie have in common? My hand and a pie.
I don't know.
It has my ring on it. That is the corniest joke, but it's the only one I can remember, and it's because she reacts like that every single time, like in the floor laughing.
All right, that's a cut.
Sweet. Peace, guys.
This will give you the ability to chew and eat just like you have a third set of teeth. Over the course of the past 20 years, I became trained in implant dentistry. Those surgeries can be very invasive. IV sedation is an ideal thing for those patients that are having more invasive procedures. The doctor needs to be well trained. You need to have a trained staff to get through their appointments smoothly and comfortably.
See the leader in dental implants and sedation dentistry, Hughes Dental Arts Center.
This evening, we're actually here with Chef Kristin Beringson of Ellington's in Nashville, Tennessee, and we were just talking about how it's just disheartening that we can't see one another's faces. Yes, we're thrilled that we were able to catch up with you, Chef, and talk about just the really cool things that you've been doing. You've made your mark on much of Nashville. You've done different types of dishes and cuisine and such, and people have enjoyed it. So tell us what you're doing here now and why you like this transition into Ellington's.
This has been one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. Ellington's has allowed me to not just embrace like culinary side of things, but the hospitality industry as a whole.
Right.
So the hotel piece, you know, the different things that comes with that, you know, the weddings, the receptions, all the different parts, moving parts of hotel industry has been really, really fun for me.
And the Fairlane Hotel is just exquisite in itself. You can feel the old world style and such. So
yeah, it used to be a bank. So the fourth floor where Ellington's was where the executive suites were, like the executive offices where their cigar patio and everything was. So it's very cool.
Now, you mentioned doing many kinds of cuisine and many kinds of foods. Talk about, there has to be a basic understanding of all of those.
Sure.
What is it that you try to accomplish as a chef with anything that you prepare?
Yeah. Well, I think the fun thing about being a chef, especially in the United States, is because we are such a melting pot. You know, I was born in Athens, Greece, raised in South Dakota, went to high school in Maryland, college in Philly, lived abroad in Fiji and New Zealand. So, like, it's not one cuisine. Like we could say a cheeseburger is American, but I think we pull from a lot of different places and a lot of different cultures.
Right.
And I'd say that, you know, my experiences as a human are how I cook.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
I've cooked Japanese, I've cooked Southern fine dining, I've cooked food that goes with wine at a winery, Mediterranean flavors. I'm classically French trained, which I think a lot of Southern soul cooking is pulled from French stews and things like that. So
typically the rule of thumb, I guess, would be to cook fresh, use the freshest ingredients if you can. Are you surprised at how much of a rock star chefs have become? I mean, people love food and foodies, and they love chefs. I mean, they do.
I always think it's hysterical, like when I'm in the dish pit or something, like on a Saturday night slinging racks, I'm like, take a picture, let's show them what it's really like, you know? I think it has been glamorized. We are rock stars, and it is funny when people recognize you out there, like, oh my God, we love your food, you know, that whole thing.
Well, it helps when you go off and win a big show like Chopped, you know. Tell me where that desire came from and how that unfolded.
Honestly, it was my first executive chef job. I was at Holland House. That network actually reached out to the restaurant and said, hey, we'll be doing casting in Nashville. We would love, I think they were trying to do an all Nashville episode.
Nice.
And they were trying to maybe cast some more women.
Okay.
And back then, 10 years ago, I guess it wasn't quite 10 years ago, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Nashville didn't have a ton of lady chefs.
Right.
So
there you were.
I just kind of kept on doing the next step, and the next thing I knew, they were like, you're on the show, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing the show.
And then you kind of won the show.
I kind of won the show.
You kind of won the show. I mean, that's fantastic.
And it was a lot of fun. I mean, when you win the show, you're there for 17 hours. They don't like tell you that, but you're in this little like 83-degree room with not enough water or food, and like you're on edge. There's a robot sitting in the corner. Here, we'll scoot out.
Oh, wow. So what have you prepared for us?
Today,
Talk a little bit about that.
These are two dishes that are on my most recent menu. This is our squid ink, my squid ink bucatini. It's got Jonah lump crab claws in it.
Okay.
I make this sweet crab butter that we toss the noodles in. It's fantastic. It's kind of a play on the Japanese dish I used to do back in the day. And this is the ricotta nudie.
Okay.
So the little like ricotta dumpling pillows. It's my vegetarian dish. It's wildly popular.
Nice.
It's got some walnuts, Parmesan cheese, Marsala wine.
Well, it looks so great. We have to go get seated, and then we'll have it come out, and then we'll try it.
I will see you out there.
Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you very much. All right.
Wow, and look at this. See, you can serve on occasion, and
you have no idea.
So let's talk about the ingredients and what you chose for these dishes,
Sure.
how you assemble those.
So with this dish, we actually have a local pasta making company called Alfresco's.
Okay.
They provide like a beautiful fresh pasta.
Nice.
I don't really have the operation here to make my own pasta in-house.
Okay.
I like splitting pasta with the seafood because it kind of gives it that extra little like fishy, yummy unctuousness.
Nice. So if I give you a plate,
Sure.
can you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
it. And then let's try it together, you and I.
Let's do it. Let's do this. There we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Honestly, it's so rare. It's so strange. As a chef, you don't often try your own food. Like you try like bits and pieces of them, but never whole.
As you're cooking, you're
dishes.
like, this tastes good.
Yeah, I'll join you. I told you I stopped doing keto today.
There
so
you go,
welcome
babe.
back,
This is
carbs.
your celebration, no doubt. Do you find that you cook a lot at home with your family?
Actually.
Okay.
My husband is a chef too, which is interesting. We met at work.
Okay.
And you know, my 2-year-old loves to cook, so.
Okay, you've outdone yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's
really
amazing. That's so good.
That crab butter is really yummy.
Well, we happen to be sponsored by Prairie Farm, so that the butter we can appreciate.
Absolutely.
You know, anything with cream, butter, dairy.
And there's enough heavy cream in here let me scoop you some.
Yeah, let's see what we have.
Let's try it. Walnuts are my favorite nut, and I think nuts are really fun to cook with, especially in vegetarian cooking. It just gives it like that texture that you miss, or at least I miss, that not having meat kind of offers. So this is all very Italian, but also all very
my.
very
A
yummy.
whole different, plays differently on your palate, the Spiel and the, so good.
Very nice.
Well, let's make sure that we invite people to come and see you and make sure that they check out the restaurant. So if you want to do that, just...
Yeah, please do. We're here in Nashville, downtown, 3 blocks over from Lower Broadway, which is really fun. When COVID's over, it's a great location.
Absolutely.
Up on the 4th floor at the Fairlane Hotel.
Yeah. So. You've been a lot of fun, too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I
Chef. We
appreciate
appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
Welcome to John A. Logan College. We have distanced. We have prepared. We have continued to provide services. We have reimagined how we teach. We are ready to get back to normal, but until then, we will keep doing all we can in the new normal. Don't delay your future. Register today for the Spring 21 semester.
Wasn't that a fun show? Hopefully you guys answered along with some of those questions. I feel like I know everybody better now. Rob?
Just a lot better.
Do you, Daniel?
Way better.
I feel like people know a lot more about you now. You're not going to be able to go anywhere.
No.
They're going to ask for autographs. They're going to want to talk, right?
I better work on my autograph.
You better, yeah, make sure it's really, really cool. I think Julie would be pleased. So many of these topics are near and dear to her heart. She had to give us permission to give the latter part of our show away today, which, again, we just feel like it's a phenomenal thing to do. We all know of those individuals who have been struggling. It happens every single day. It could be someone near and dear to us. It could be someone we do not know, a neighbor. Just keep your ears and eyes open and spend a little time. Get to know people. Be that helping hand. Be that loving individual. And if you can make a difference for someone, please do, because there is help available. I promise you, tomorrow is always better. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes. And it is not good without you. So there's a reason you're here. We were all put on this earth for a reason. Discover what yours is and know that you matter, and there are resources available to help you out. Listen, the other thing that we want you to do, in addition to keeping us filled in and letting us know the untapped market in regards to talent, whether you're a chef, a performer, music, lover, what other kind of guests are we looking for? I know we want fire eaters, jugglers. If you can, stuntmen would be good.
Or women.
Or women, a tiger trainer, something like that.
Joe Exotic, that'd be good.
No, I think he's in the pokey, right? That's exactly where he is. But anyway, we'd love to do those interviews. We're also keeping up with those people who have been on our show. We want you to remember them. And I'm only going to name a couple of the talents that I've seen recently that keep showing up in my feed. We've got Lewis Bryce. Everybody remember him? Lee Bryce's brother, just killing the game. Dustin Collins, we had a blast with him shooting his music video on a yacht. So that was a lot of fun. Shenandoah, they're that comeback group that just, you can't get enough of them. Also Frank Foster, Lucas Hogue, Ray Scott, Lizzie Cates. Here's the other thing, guys. When Bailey James, when you're on this show, all of a sudden you're go to number one the next day, whether in this country or another country. I don't know what it is, but it's something about being on this show. Also, those important efforts that are underway, we know about Ravenous Reach. We're following them. Actually, it's Ravenous Reach, right? It's a play on words. Ravenous Reach, just an incredible story. We also want you to continue looking out for the 615 House. They're doing a lot of cool things and making a difference. What else do we need to look out for? Storytellers. Everybody has a story, so we want to hear yours. You can find us at spielon.com. Okay, like I said, we're going to give this second half of the show to a very important cause. You're going to meet some incredible people. And again, if you need help, the program is the Whole Health Program. It's available through the VA. Even the veterans will tell you that for the longest time, they thought the VA was a bad place. And they avoided it, and they didn't go there, and they questioned the care. But now those people who have been on the brink of making some very bad decisions say that they're so glad they reached out. It's been life-changing, and their story is bound to impact you. So remember, the question should always be what matters to you, not what's the matter with you. We'll see you next time. Yeah, that was a typical day at the office. Daniel starts drumming away. Your favorite movie and why?
My favorite movie, the first one that pops in my head is The Matrix. And that's because it's all about science and technical stuff, sweet visual effects, and Reeves, obviously.
Well, I am a whole health coach here at the Marion VA, and I help the veterans with different classes that we are teaching, such as Introduction to Whole Health, Taking Charge of My Life and Health. I'm also one of the coaches here at the Marion VA, so helping those veterans to figure out the next steps in their lives after they've completed a Taking Charge course. So it just helps them to set goals, and we help them with any needs that they may have. And by doing that, we put a clinical team together to help them reach those needs and goals.
The most important part for me with behavioral health and the whole health program is really just giving people control of their lives, a little bit of power back when you get a diagnosis of PTSD or diabetes or heart disease or depression. It's like all this power and control is taken away from you. Now we want to give you medications and we want you to do this and we want you to do this. But the whole health aspect gives us options. It gives us options like maybe I don't have to take a pill for this. Maybe I can work on myself with meditation and with yoga. Maybe I can go and start giving myself that time to take a walk. So it's really about giving control and power back to somebody when they're already feeling powerless.
I didn't experience specifically the war and stuff, but I have experienced the PTSD, seen it with my mother with the war and how sometimes that correlates. And so I know how even moving to the right cities, moving near the VA, if that's what you need to do, is one of the reasons I moved to be near my mom. It's one of the reasons I moved to be here close to the VAs and close to that care. Because even, when I had moved near her, I had some of the similar things, having that fear of the guns and the shots being fired or something like that. You have certain triggers when it comes to PTSD, and they had like a fireworks, which I didn't know until after I moved there, but a fireworks testing facility nearby. So when those fireworks would go off, here I'd be, in a corner in the room, or certain things would happen. I remember being so scared, and I was in the house with a knife to try to protect myself, locked in the bathroom. And I called my mom and my stepdad, and I said, I can't keep living in fear like this. Sorry. And that's when my mom also helped refer me to the whole health team. And I didn't even sign up for the VA, I think, for 17 or 18 years. So it was that reluctancy. And then, I don't know, I think my mom might have done it right away when she came back, or she might have done it years later or whatever. I don't know what made her trust in the VA, but her experience with it is what made me realize and trust, is having that personal experience with somebody I knew, loved, and I trusted her. I had been diagnosed with PTSD long before she even had, went to Iraq. And so watching my mother go through it and seeing, when she initially came back, how her PTSD was, and then how much she had grown in those years through joining the whole health program and stuff there, and then her own therapeutic methods as well. That's really what gave me that trust of, okay, I think I can do something. They're doing something that was working for her. And so I knew that I could trust that team, and knew that they really do give a team, and it's not just a one-person effort. And there's same thing with her. I mean, just times and things that she couldn't talk about from Iraq and stuff, and knowing that they're not going to make you go there and sit there and talk about these things that they know are difficult, but they're there to listen. And whether it's going to have fun doing other things and distracting your mind, doing Tai Chi, yoga, participating in other programs that they have for fun things that people might want to do, whether it's arts and crafts, painting. I think there's a lot of things that veterans enjoy in their normal daily life, but they lose a lot of that when they're going through that PTSD, or even it can be depressing just dealing with the pain alone. And giving your mind something to distract and interrupt those thoughts, I think, is important. And that's what the whole health team helps you do. Yeah, they have teams of psychiatrists, and I think a lot of the misconception is that I have to go in there and talk about it, when a lot of these times it's too hard to face that. But it gets you to a point where you're able to even think about it or push it away from your own mind and you learn to practice that mindfulness is something that they teach as well, which I think is the biggest problem with PTSD or veterans is they don't know how to let go. They don't know how to interrupt those, because you can't just have a magic pill and erase all of those memories and all those thoughts of things that occurred. And you wish that, here we have all this technology to do all these other things. We can go to another planet, but these people who experience this trauma don't have a magic pill to just have that amnesia. But I think the whole health team provides you with the tools necessary in your own mind to control those things. Where now, before it was every single day, all throughout the day, it was almost never being able to have that ability of what I call letting go. Now I'm at the point that I've been able to practice that mindfulness and everything else to where I've learned to interrupt the negative thoughts with something positive, retrain my brain. And it's not that they don't come, but now it's tolerable where I know how to cope, I know how to deal with it.
Behavioral health is one of the things that kind of gets swept under the rug a lot as far as medical care goes. You think about diabetes and heart disease and everything else, but we often forget about our mental health and how significant our mental health can be and how that affects everything else. I was reading recently how a lot of people walk around in this almost constant state of fight or flight due to the stresses that we are given day in and day out, and that all works on our mind, and then that works on our body also. So if you can start to get your mind more healthy, that actually can translate into your body. So the thought process is if we can start getting people's mental health more correct, give them options to help manage that stress, manage that fight or flight response all the time, other than getting frustrated, other than getting angry, other than turning to substances, we can in turn translate that into the body and help people control their diabetes, help people control their hypertension or their heart disease or any of the other ailments that affect people daily.
Somebody that I had grown up with, a childhood friend, and he recently made a mistake. And I had been trying to convince him, go to Whole Health, go to the team. So, and part of me doing this is me trying to figure out for myself, as well as my fellow veterans and family, friends, anybody I know, how do I convince them to get in here? Because I know how much of a difference it makes. And he was in the news and became one of what they call the 22, where I think it's 1 in every 22 soldiers or something like that, they wind up committing suicide. He, made a tragic decision, which I know was preventable if I could have gotten him in here. So my goal is to try to figure out how to prevent that and get not only loved ones, but family and friends in here. Because when we're in the military, we're taught you never leave a battle buddy behind. That continues once we go home as well, as to how do we not leave a battle buddy behind? How do we not leave our fellow soldiers behind? One thing about the military too, and with those negative feelings, there's always positive ones. So instead of thinking about, let's say, even my mother with the war and stuff like that, there was a lot of positive memories. You had the camaraderie, something that you don't feel that you have after you get out. And I think the part of the whole health team gives you that feeling of you're back in a team, you have that camaraderie of, even if you don't know these people personally, they make you feel like you've known them for a long time because they're there to listen. And that's something that we had all the time in the military too, is even on the tough times, in the toughest of moments, we're doing stupid stuff because it's a coping mechanism. And when we're so used to that and then we get out and we don't have that, it's like, how do I cope now? And I think the whole health team kind of gives you that same tool of, you do still have this resource, and that, even if you're a veteran, we can still do fun things and distract your mind in ways that are healing both mentally and physically, because they don't only focus on one aspect of your healing. I think that's the difference between a doctor and the whole health team, is the doctor focuses on the physical aspect, but the whole health team focuses on the physical aspect and everything else that's involved in their entire wheel. And I think that entire wheel is what I personally needed, and I think a lot of veterans do, is that it gives you structure. That's something that we had in the military and we didn't have once we got out. It gives you structure, organization, not only physically, but mentally. Now you can have goals that you focus on. You understand what's going on with yourself. They don't probe, but they invite you to ask yourself these questions and answer them, even if you want to answer them privately and not share it with them or share it with the group. They allow you to answer the questions and just ask yourself on a physical aspect, on a spiritual aspect, which it doesn't have to be, religious. It has nothing to do with religion, but all of these things that incorporate your health as a whole, which we don't get when we go into a doctor, and a doctor's got 5 minutes to talk to you, and although they, in the whole health team, they don't have a lifetime to talk to you, but they almost make you feel like that because they make you understand and realize that even if you don't want to talk today, we're available tomorrow. Even if we have an appointment right now, you're only a phone call away if you ever need us. Although I've had that resource there and I know that they're available, I never felt like I had to, because now they've given me the tools that I can cope on my own on a daily basis by just looking at that wheel and reminding myself, okay, have I focused on all of these? Okay, am I neglecting it? I felt like without realizing it, there's a lot of areas and aspects of my life that I had neglected and not realized that I should have focused on all those things that make me a part of me. And they put the control back in your hands and let you make those decisions. It's individual based. They're not making the decisions for you. They're not telling you how to think, how to act, what to do, or what your healing process should look like, which I think is another misconception. It's really, they let you make the choices of what coping skills you think will help you. And it might be different from, when I was in the group aspect, what helped me might have not helped somebody else, but we talked about that, and I think that helped us as a whole to understand.
Thanks to COVID, we have started our VA video connection appointments. And it has just been a fantastic way to reach out to our veterans because we can now see them face to face instead of bringing them in for the appointments and risking maybe them getting ill or us getting ill. So by doing those appointments, we are able to stay very closely connected with them. And I typically call them to try and remind them of their appointment. But during their appointment, I have let them know that they have my number. They are welcome to call me at any time if they have any questions or concerns or just need someone to speak with. If they do not have a computer of their own, we have iPads that we are issuing to some of our veterans. That process is really pretty quick. Within 24 to 48 hours, if we can get an iPad in their hand, we can get them connected so that they can attend an appointment. We even have some veterans that are joining groups. So they are getting to connect with other veterans that also share the same hopes and dreams of changing their lives, and it's making a big difference. I have veterans that I have spoken to, and some of them before the end of our conversation, they feel that they have renewed hope. I can see it in their faces. When we do VA video connection appointments, I can hear it in their voices. You hear that tone change and they get excited. It feels good.
And going to the whole health team, they kind of let me, they didn't decide it for me, they didn't tell me to, but I realized the things that would help me. And one of them I got really passionate about was hiking. And I hiked, I only made it, granted, because of health reasons and my foot and injury, but 676 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail. And it's, well, I say only because it's a drop in the bucket when it's a 2,650 mile trail that runs between Mexico and Canada. And it's something that we did in the military was hiking and just I think that complete disconnect, I tried to train my brain before that too, of that mindfulness, and I completely disconnected from the world. There's lots of veterans I hear about doing it now that they have PTSD and they're doing it as a healing process. I think when you remove every outside noise and you focus completely on yourself, you're in nature completely, you're able to gain that mindfulness. And one of the reasons I was able to is because before, when you're experiencing all these traumas constantly in your head and you can't shut it off, when you're at the top of a mountain and you're 7,000 feet up on the edge of a ledge and you are looking down and you realize every single step you're taking, because you're sometimes walking on granite or something, every step you have to be micro-focused. So when you're focused on saving your life in those moments, you realize later, oh, I haven't even thought about any of this other trauma. And you realize how healing that is to be out there and just be in nature. Some of the stuff that, it was the fun times in the military. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But those are good memories that we had that you kind of relate back to that in those moments of you miss those things.
I work here as a public affairs specialist, but here recently I was afforded an opportunity to get my yoga certification. I recently received my 200-hour yoga certification through the Yoga Farm in Ithaca, New York. With the yoga program, it's something that I've always wanted to do for myself. I knew it was a calling that I had, and once I started the program, I understood that it was more than a calling, it was a need and something that I needed to do for myself, for my own health, for my physical health, and for my mental stability. In the military, we're always taught to push forward, to push through the pain, suck it up. No matter what physical pain that you have, no matter what mental pain that you have, you're always taught to focus on the goal and to put your own feelings aside and your own health aside for the mission success. With yoga, that allowed me to slow down and to take care of myself. It taught me to make time for myself in learning to find the imbalances of my body that yoga teaches us. It also taught me to still the mind. One thing that yoga teaches is the meditation aspect of it. We have the physical aspect of it, which helps your body, helps with flexibility, helps with strength, helps with functioning. It improves joint muscles and support. That way you can get around easier throughout the day and you just feel a lot more comfortable. Relieves lower back pain that you have. But it also, once you get the physical aspect of it down, then you begin to build a deeper connection. You get to build the mental connection that goes along with the mental side of practicing yoga. And with the mental connection, you learn to have conversations with yourself that you wouldn't have had in the past. You learn to still the mind, so to speak. To offer a metaphor, I'd say practicing yoga and meditation is almost like making yourself an anchor at the bottom of the ocean. No matter what goes on around you, the currents pass, there may be storms, there may be sharks attacking, swimming nearby, but having that meditation and setting that time apart for yourself affords you an opportunity to be that anchor at the bottom of the ocean. No matter which way the current flows, you're going to be still. Everything around you is going to continue to move. You may see challenges in your life, but you have that stability and knowing who you are and where it is that you are in relation to what it is that's going on around you.
Well, I am a Tai Chi instructor here for the Marion VA, and I find that the veterans who have joined Tai Chi find that it increases their flexibility and their strength. It also helps with PTSD. Their stress and anxiety are decreased. A lot of them have made comments that they are even sleeping better. And when they're in the process of doing the Tai Chi, the other thoughts that seem to pop into their head are quieted down, because then they're concentrating on what they're doing with their fellow veterans, and they're listening for a different type of instruction as to what to do next. And they feel that they're a part of a team again, and it's making a difference.
Being a vet and an employee with the VA, the first thing I have to work on usually is my frustrations, my angers. You deal with things differently in the military than you can in the civilian world. Most of us aren't given the time to go out and run 5 miles every day and do 500 push-ups and 500 sit-ups and have that physical outlet to be able to manage the stressors of life. So how do I make the time personally to be able to manage that? And the yoga does that for me, giving myself permission to say, hey, it's really okay to take 30 minutes and go stretch and let the mind be free of all the other stressors for a little bit, or go for a 30-minute hike and just be in nature and hear the birds, see the sun come up, and not hear the horns honking or the boss saying this has to be done or any of those other stressors. A lot of people, we don't give ourselves permission 1 hour a day. 1/24th of our day, we don't give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves. So how can we take care of anybody else?
I know that struggle of, I felt on my own, and it's like this resource was there. Had I just, how did I not know how to get in there? And then it was amplified when I had heard about my friend who was in the news, because he didn't only commit suicide, and this is what I think is very important, but I don't even know if I should be saying this right now, but it's in the news, but this is the unfortunate result of what happens when veterans don't think they have any other options. He had a combination of alcohol and possibly other things when it occurred, and life circumstances that happened. And he decided not only to take his life, but he took his wife's first and did it in front of his child, who was, special needs. And I knew how passionate he was about the health of his child. So for me now, knowing that he did that in front of his child, which would be obviously lifetime damaging, it's like, it never had to come to that. And, me and my family talking about it, it's like, this stuff, when it's not only this soldier, when they come back from war who's affected, it's their entire family. When we watched my mother go through it, it was the same thing. It's all of us suffer. And now that PTSD, I think not only with him, but with every veteran, that PTSD gets passed down and passed over. PTSD isn't a communicable disease, as you can say, but it is, because it transfers from one family member to another, when, especially from parent to child, or husband to wife, when one is coming back from war, and then they don't know how to cope with it themselves, so they wind up doing it the only way that they know how, and it affects everybody else. So now it's a domino effect of PTSD that we have, and this is what we're leaving our society with. I think one of the most important things that the VA had taught me, how important it was to focus on myself, and before I thought that was a selfish thing, and here I didn't know I was digging myself a hole by taking care of all my loved ones around me, and I think that's something that a lot of veterans go through. And what they had told me is, they gave me the analogy of, when you're on an airplane, do they tell you to put your mask on first or someone else's? They tell you to put yours on, because you can't save someone else's life unless you're saving yours first. And you can't help them utilize their tools unless you do that with yours first. And so it kind of just made me wake up and realize, yeah, I need to, I'll be better for them once I've taken care of myself. And it really took me taking that time with the VA too, to step aside and say, okay, I have to take a hiatus from all my other loved ones, because I do have to focus on myself so I can come back and be a better person for them.